Inseam pockets can add function and utility to most pants and skirts. They can be added to existing clothing missing pockets or to new garments that you make. To make an inseam pocket, you need two pocket bag pieces. One will be made of any thin fabric pocket material, and the other will match the garment fabric. You need a thin strip of fusible interfacing, approximately 1/2 inch wide and a bit longer than your pocket piece. Here, one pocket bag template is a standard size, seen in many sewing patterns. The other is a modified pocket bag, sized to fit a cell phone. Both of these pattern templates are free for you and available to download and print in the video description. Modify them to fit your needs and preferences. You need to fuse the thin strip of fusible interfacing to the front piece of your garment. Line it up with the marks on your pattern or where you want the pocket to be. Press firmly with the iron, following the interfacing instructions. Once it's fused, you're ready to prepare the pocket bag. Lay the plain pocket piece right side to right side over the fusible interfacing. Then draw a box from the pocket marks on the pattern that is approximately 12 centimeters deep. At the machine, sew precisely along the line. Leave your needle down, pivot at the corners. Be precise with your stitching. When you get to the second corner, pivot and turn to the edge to backstitch. With your shears, trim about 4 millimeters away from the edge of the side stitches. Remove all of the middle fabric by trimming close to the inner stitching. Be careful to trim close, but do not cut any of the other parts of the garment. You want to cut very straight. Once you clip the center piece, then clip diagonally into each of the corners without cutting the stitching. Be careful and precise. Now flip the pocket around and carefully fold out the edges so everything is nice and square. Use your fingers and take your time to roll out the seams, and then press with an iron to make sure the pocket material is fully folded on the back side. When you are finished pressing, you will have the pocket on the rear side, and then you are ready to top stitch it in place. Top stitch by stitching in from the edge of the pocket about 5 millimeters and then turning. This seam will be approximately 5 millimeters from the edge of the pocket opening. When you get to the end, leave your needle down and pivot to the outside and backstitch. Now we need to attach the other side of the pocket bag. This is how it will look in the end, right side to right side. Since you are using French seams, you first need to put the wrong sides to wrong sides and then stitch with an approximately 4 millimeter seam allowance. Some instructions for French seams tell you to stitch a larger seam allowance and then trim it. That is useful when modifying seam allowances on existing patterns, but it is more work and more steps. By stitching precisely at 4 millimeters from the start, you are ready to turn your pocket bag and complete the other side of the French seam once done stitching. Be careful and line up your pieces as you go. Manipulate the fabric as you go around to keep everything lined up for your 4 millimeter seam allowance. Your pocket bag is almost complete. Now turn the bag inside out. Use your fingers to roll the seams to the outside all the way around the pocket bag. Make sure to get the seams completely to the edge and then press flat. Take your time and work all the way around the bag. Pay attention to the ends, making sure they are completely turned and smooth. Now the pocket bag is turned out and you are ready to complete the French seam. Fold any of the garment material out of the way so you do not accidentally capture it in your stitching. Start at one edge of the pocket bag and stitch 6 to 7 millimeters away from the edge. Make sure to capture the seam on the inside. Work around the pocket bag. This is how the pocket will look when complete. Now you need to attach the other piece of the garment. Line the pieces up with the wrong sides together on top of the pocket. Stitch with a 4 mm seam allowance all the way down. It should be off to the side out of the way, but be careful to not catch the pocket opening with your stitching. Stitch straight down the entire garment with the wrong sides together. Stitch past the pocket opening and back tack at the end. Now the pocket is almost complete. You just need to turn the seams around and finish the French seam. You can see the pocket bag on the inside with the finished French seam. Fold your material around so the right sides are facing and carefully manipulate and roll the seam to the edge, just like you did on the pocket bag. If there is any excess bulky material in the middle of the seam, now is a good time to carefully trim it away. Roll everything out and press it nice and flat. Now it's time to stitch the last French seam. Stitch at approximately 6 to 7 mm all the way down. Be sure that you do not capture the pocket bag. I like to backstitch right at the pocket openings to reinforce the garment, but it is not a necessary step. Continue down to the end of the garment material and backstitch. Press everything in the direction of the pocket and then press on the top side as well to complete the pocket. French seams are very useful and easy to construct with simple tools. With this method, all the raw seam edges are captured and you don't need a serger or special equipment to finish your seams. Inseam pockets with French seam finishes are rad. Put them in your next sewing project.